This is a 190 Q&A practice test. Plaintiff attorney, Mr. Lawrence, capital L-A-W-R-E-N-C-E. Defense attorney, Mr. Andrews, capital A-N-D-R-E-W-S. And we'll start with plaintiff attorney. Ready? And what were your duties as a receptionist? I sent out the photography leads. I took incoming phone calls, sent out t-shirts, mailed out catalogs. As part of that employment, did you have the privilege of knowing a young woman named Teresa Hallback? Yes, I did. Could you tell the jury, please, how you knew Ms. Hallback? She was one of our photographers. She started just a little after I did, so we were fairly close. Ms. Pliska, I'm going to direct your attention specifically to October 31st of 2005. Ask if you were working on that day. Yes, I was. Do you remember about what time you started work? I started at 7 in the morning. Yes. At or about 8:12 a.m. Do you recall receiving a call that day? Yes, I do. And could you tell the jury about that call, please? It was from a man. He said that he wanted the photographer who had been out there before. He was selling a minivan and he needed her to take photos. Did this man identify what name the photo job would be under? I couldn't quite make him out because he was very hard to understand. The closest I got was the initial B. Janda. This man said he wanted the photographer who had been out there before. Did he identify by name that person? No, he did not. Did he provide you an address where he wanted this photo to be taken? Yes, he did. Do you remember what that was? I don't remember the exact number, but it was something B. Avery Road. If I showed you a document from that morning, would that help refresh your recollection of that? Yes. Exhibit 17. Janet, do you have that? I have now handed you what has been marked for identification as exhibit number 17. Tell the jury, first of all, what is that? This is a photo shoot lead. It's for a same-day appointment, which we don't normally do, but if the photographer is able to, we could have written them up and sent them to them. Whose handwriting is on that form? That's mine. Would that form have been filled out at the same time that you received this call from this person? It was actually filled out later on after I had left a message for Teresa to see if she could make it out there that day. But does that sheet help refresh your recollection as to the information provided by this man? Yes. What was the address that was given for the photo shoot? 12930A Avery Road. Now, when this man said that let me start again, remind me of the language, the specific language the man used in requesting the photographer. He had wanted the photographer that had been out there before. Did he say why he wanted that same photographer? Because he had a minivan for sale. Was a phone number provided? Yes, it was. Could you tell us what that phone number was, please? It is 920-755-8715. Now, did you know the district or the area from whom this call had come? In other words, what photographer you were going to assign to do this shoot? Yes. How did you know that? They were assigned by location. When you would type it in the system, it would automatically pop up the photographer's next available date. Who was the photographer that had that district? Teresa Hallback. I think that you had said that same day appointments were unusual. Is that right? Yes. Can you tell the jury about that, please? Normally we had a 24-hour notice for photos, but sometimes if someone wanted to make a deadline and the photographer was in the area, we would leave a message for them and then they would go out to that person's residence if they could make it. Ms. Pleska, I'm now going to direct your attention to approximately 9:46 a.m. and ask if you tried to call Teresa Hallback at that time. Yes, I did. Could you tell the jury about that call, please? I wasn't able to get a hold of her, so I left her a message saying that someone said, that she had been out there before. I couldn't find a record of him in the system, but if she could make it today, that would be fine. Otherwise, I had scheduled it for the following Monday, which would have been her next available appointment. Were you notified, Ms. Pliska, any time later that day that Ms. Hallback was able to make that appointment? When I came back from lunch, there was a note from Angie Schuster that it was said that she had wanted me to fill out one of these lead sheets and fax it to her because she would be able to make it that same day. She meaning Ms. Hallback. Ms. Hallback, yes. Finally, Ms. Pliska, were you able to and did you in fact speak with Teresa Hallback later that day? Yes, she called me at 2:27 and we talked. Who? Teresa called me at 2:27 and we talked for a little while, and she said, yeah, I'm able to go get that photo. By the way, it was the Avery brothers, and I'm on my way out there right now. So 2:27 p.m. she told you she was on her way to the Avery property. Yes. Let me ask you this, Ms. Pliska. How do you remember that call? I remember because I looked at the time because she didn't normally work, I think, past 1, and I thought it was kind of late for her to be going out there, so I happened to look at the clock at that time. So, all right, just as an aside, do you remember what else you guys talked about at that time? She needed UPS labels. And then I was telling her about my son going trick-or-treating. So you remember that being Halloween? Yes. Finally, Ms. Pliska, after that call, after you hung up and concluded that call with Teresa, did you ever have occasion to talk with her again? We tried to get a hold of her on, I think, Thursday morning, but we weren't able to. Let me ask that again. Did you ever talk to Teresa Hallback again after that time? No, I did not. I would move the admission of Exhibit 17, Judge, and that's all the questions I have for this witness. Any objection to the exhibit? No objection. Exhibit 17 is admitted. Who will be doing cross? I will, Judge. Mr. Andrews. Good morning. Good morning. Is it Ms. Pliska? Pliska. Okay, Judge, could you maybe explain to the jury that it's your request that we wear these mics when we move around? That's right. The attorneys who stand, we require the attorneys to use these mics so everybody can hear. So forgive me if I fumble with them a little bit. All right. Now you still have Exhibit 17 up in front of you, do you not? Yes. All right. Now I will refer to that in just a minute, but you mentioned that your duties are answering incoming phone calls. Yes. Calling out to photographers and assignments. Yes. Also faxing out these appointment sheets. Yes. You actually prepare them sometimes yourself too. Yes. And how many photographers and your work in the Hales Corners office, right? I'm no longer employed there. I'm sorry, back in October of 2005. Yes, you were. Will you wait till I finish the question so that the reporter is not tripping over us here? October of 2005, you worked in Hales Corners. Yes. And how many photographers did you deal with at that time around the state? Probably around 6. Okay, and most of your communication with them was by email or fax or phone? Mostly by fax and phone. Mostly fax and phone. Okay, yes. In fact, did you ever meet Teresa Hallback? No, I did not. You never met her face to face at all? No. So your relationship with her, when you say you were close, it was just from phone conversations? From phone conversations, yes. And these phone conversations were usually just a couple of minutes or so, as you would because you had other duties, other calls coming in and all of that. Yes. Okay, so you didn't really know much personally about her other than what would be transmitted in these very brief phone calls. Yes. All right, now this phone call that you got on October 31st, you knew the name, you recognized the name Janda, Janda, right? That's what I could make out, okay, from what he had said. And in fact, you know, then the man gave you the address, and it was on Avery Road, right? Yes. All right, the word list, we have Teresa Hallback, capital Teresa, new word, capital Halbach. Ms. MS period Pliska, capital Pliszka. B. Janda, capital B period, new word, capital Janda. B. Avery Road, capital B, no period, just capital B, New word, capital A-V-E-R-Y. New word, capital R-O-A-D. Janet, capital J-A-N-E-T. Avery Road, capital A-V-E-R-Y, capital R on road. UPS, all caps, no periods, no spaces, UPS. Hales Corners, capital H-A-L-E-S. New word, capital C-O-R-N-E-R-S. And that's it for the word list. And that will conclude our 190 Q&A practice test.